why people have to know the laws first. That's why they have to understand Donald Trump became a wartime president in March 2020. And when he enacted the code that Roosevelt used, the 50 U.S. Code, Chapter 33, Section 1541, when he did that, and then he put that executive order into play, federalizing the troops, that right there alone, that's a direct military order that made him a wartime president, because he says all the time, if they're going to investigate me, they got to investigate every president before me, right? So when he says all that, he's saying, I have war powers that no one else has. And one of the war powers is the 47 U.S. Code 606, which is war power. It's titled War Powers of the President, right? And so people say, well, how do you know that's in play? Well, we saw a fence go around the Capitol building long before January 20th, 2021, long before they thought they saw an inauguration. That is 47 U.S. Code 606. He can shut down TV, internet, radio broadcasts, and also closing of government facilities. And then late 2022, we had a fence go around the Federal Reserve building. So there's another fence. There's another closing of a government facility. So we have evidence, and people need to see that first to understand that the media, they've been told what they can and can't say, especially the FCC regulation media. That's the mainstream. And so it's a lot of optics there. And then talk about the blurs. It was, I got to get the date of it, but it was just a few days ago. Biden was speaking right after this, and the seal is blurred. All of a sudden, the seal on the front is completely blurred out. You can't see it. The whole video, I think it's 46 seconds long, that I did a screen share or a screenshot of it. So there's a lot of optics right now into that.
And this is all part of changing the narrative. I was told 6-8 months ago that we'd go through a period of changing the narrative. And we are seeing a lot of people now that are beginning to wake up. That's a positive thing. But I have noticed those that are waking up can't be bothered to do anything about it when they've woken up. They're still in their happy little bubble, and they don't want to, do anything. And it's very sad, but you literally have to take away their money for them to actually do something. The minute they can't get any cash out of the cash machine or the bank is closed, then they'll wake up in a hurry. But
that's right.
They've been trying to wake them up before that period.
And it's unfortunate in a different way, but once again, as you and I, we've talked about this before, and I say it on all my shows to try to wake up more Americans. It's pretty bad when more people around the world know more about our Constitution and our laws and orders than our own people. It's bad and sad. And so when people say, well, why did it have to happen this way, or why are they doing it? Can you name the 3 branches of government? They always put that one on them. 75% of America can't even name them. So you definitely can't tell me who writes the laws, who passes the laws, and who interprets the laws. So, and then playing into your part, I love the way you say literally. I wish I had your accent when you say literally. But literally, when you think of literal in literal terms, like, for example, this quote unquote indictment. Now, Boss Man plays on this a lot because this is part of the plan, it's part of the play, it's part of the trump cards. But was he literally indicted? Was he literally impeached? No. And impeachment would mean it would have had to impeach him through the Senate as well. That didn't happen. It never made it there. So people need to understand, was he literally impeached? No. Was he literally indicted? No. Where's the mugshot? And that right there proves more than anything, as I always say, he's the current president. He's a sitting president, but he's acting in a commander-in-chief role because of that March 2020 law. But the key thing is Fox News and Australia both said it on live air the other day. And it was not a blip. They didn't go back. He didn't stutter and say, oops, he didn't do any of that. He said they're indicting a former and current president. This is on Fox News.
Yep.
Right. They're telling you right there. They're telling you. And that's what we're talking about, changing the narrative. The narrative is going to start showing. And that 47 U.S. code, they're going to start blipping more. The other day on BBC, Tom Numbers, I believe it was, showed me the one where the lady sitting there and she was supposed to talk about some sporting event and the picture popped up and it was a MAGA event. Right. And she's like, you can tell she's shell shocked. She's like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. So it wasn't like it was, so they're going to start doing this on people. They're going to start And so the literal term, I love that you brought that up in a different way. It was indirect, but literally was he impeached? No. Literally was he indicted? No, because you cannot indict a sitting president. That is in justice.gov. The Supreme Court, we've already have that ruled on. So when people Google that, they'll see all kinds of opinions out there. The only opinion that matters is what our justice says.
Mm-hmm. And it's also the issue is that the Supreme Court in the United States, they all know this, that the election was already overturned. They know this. But the media is carrying on the lie, and this is the nails in their coffin.
Right.
Because what they're not doing is they're not telling the truth. They're not being a news channel, not one of them, because they all know behind the scenes, the people at the top know that the election was overturned because it was fraudulent, but the mainstream media is refusing to put it out. So it's having to be dripped out in little ways so that people go, hang on. The other thing, of course, is that for anybody who's done just a small amount of research, the White House in Washington has not been used since Trump left office as a headquarters. At the moment, that the management of America is being run out of Texas from a Department of Defense point of view, or no, Department of Justice point of view. The DOJ is run out of Reno, Nevada. So it's not run out of the Pentagon. And also, thank God, Biden hasn't got the nuclear codes, because he'd probably lose them.
That's right. Well, the other thing, let me validate you really quick, because people always say, well, how do you know this? And where do you get this from? If you go right now, ladies, I tell people when we're live, I tell people, wait till this show's over with, but go to Google and type in Trump, Texas, December 7th, 2020, gov. Real simple. That's how Derek Johnson's brain works. That'll pull up a Supreme Court docket. Donald John Trump and the state of Texas versus the state of Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and the state of Georgia. Why would he be filing with people? That right there would show you little things like that, little nuggets like that. And this happened, like we already said, it's already happened. December 2020. So it tells you the state of Texas. It's like, why would Donald Trump use the state of Texas? There it is.
And the other thing that also ties totally into that I don't know if you're aware of, with the asset-backed currencies around the world that is the new quantum financial system, BRICS are obviously using it, plus another 30 or 40 countries. The interesting countries that have tagged on is the United Kingdom. That was interesting to me, that they've already applied. Germany, that was interesting, because obviously that will be the collapse of the euro. But the one that made me smile the most was Texas have applied to join the asset-backed currency. Now that tells you an awful lot.
Yep. Well, and then too, the Germany and United Kingdom, I like to always parallel with the Law of War Manual. Our brand new Law of War Manual that was issued June 12, 2015, right before 4 days before Boss Man rolled down those escalator, that famous escalator. It tells you in there, the UK and also Germany, we use their law, your Law of War Manual to what? Strengthen our uniform code of military justice. So all these, nothing's a coincidence, as we know, but that's really awesome. I love when you talk about the quantum financial system all over the world, because so many people want to hear that from me. And I'm like, that's not my wheelhouse, even though I know about it. And I also know about the Executive Order 13885, which, initiated this, the Quantum Initiative. Then it became the Quantum Initiative Act. Then quantum.gov was launched September 2021, over here. And here we are. Matter of fact, a week from today, if you go to quantum.gov right now, the banner on the very front says World Quantum Day, April 14th, 2023.